Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. When it comes to a roofer, you want to trust the people around you who've used the local roofers. Well, your neighbors who've put on a new roof and can tell you this guy's good. Daniel Hood Roofing has more than 150 five-star reviews on Google. Their average review is a tremendous 4.7 out of 5. That's pretty darn good. Visit their website and you'll check out dozens and dozens more testimonials from people saying, great roof, appreciate it. DanielHoodRoofing.com. Go visit them today. Give them a call today. Daniel Hood Roofing. And Daniel will be back with us right here on the show next Sunday, as a matter of fact. Okay. Wanted to, let's take a look at the poll graphic one last time here if we can, the lower third. There we go. And at the moment, 37% of you say 10-2. 34% say 9-3. Okay, so I'm going to be interested to see if we're doing 9-3 or 10-2, because I think those are the two we're going with as well. I'm going to start down here. We're going to go around. Bob, if you would, hold up your record projection to camera 6 over here, and you've also written down who you think the losses will come to. Break it down for us.
Well, I tell you what, I just think Alabama and Georgia still more talented than you are. Texas A&M, even though they were not a good team last year, they're more talented than you are. Now let's see if bringing in Bobby Petrino can turn their offense around. But I think if I was going to pick, which I did, 9-3 is it, and those are the three I think most likely. Although I think you could scratch out Texas A&M and maybe put a couple of other names in there too. But 9-3.
Will West, same camera here.
All right, I will go 10-2. A lot of this is I don't trust Tennessee's opponents. South Carolina hired very literally the worst offensive coordinator I have ever seen in professional football. Now it was pro football to be in Dowell August to be their offensive coordinator. He ran the Adam Gase offense with the Jets. It was awful. Kentucky, I just think it's a decided schematic advantage for Tennessee that Kentucky likes to slow the game down and kind of win with Beamer Bowl. That's tough with Tennessee if they're going to run 90 plays.
The one time they gave you a fits, though, was 2 years ago when they came out and threw it all over with this coordinator who's coming back for them. But
so if they go that route, that would be great. I think that Kentucky, the spot for Tennessee is tough there. I also don't believe that Bobby Petrino and Jimbo Fisher are going to be able to coexist, especially after what Jimbo Fisher said at SEC Media Days. I think Tennessee goes 10-2.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give you mine. I will hold it up to, I'm not sure whether, I'll hold it up to 7. I'm going 9-3. I've got Alabama and Georgia. They're just more talented. Alabama, the fact you're on the road. If this were Knoxville, I would think about you possibly beating Alabama again. But on the road, I'm going to give the edge to Alabama. Georgia, I would give Georgia the edge over anybody in the country. So those two are my losses. Plus, and Bob kind of hit on this, I'm going Texas A&M because I think they're the most talented of the remaining SEC teams that could beat you. I also think that if Petrino and Fisher coexist for at least a month and a half, they're the team that could probably put up points. Petrino's pretty sharp at putting up points, so they may be able to get in a shooting match with you. But personally, my guess is it's either going to be Florida, Kentucky, Missouri, South Carolina, some team that you least expect, just like South Carolina last year.
Yeah.
If you watch these, every show, every writer, every radio show, podcast, we all do the same thing. They're going to go 10-2, and their losses are going to be to the two best teams on their schedule. Nobody ever predicts that, oh, no, they're going to go 10-2, but they're going to lose to Vanderbilt. And yet, usually, it's somebody you don't expect. I rewatched the Fiesta Bowl, the Tennessee-Florida State game from '98. I watched that yesterday in preparation for a segment we're going to do next. I had forgotten who Florida State. I was thinking, did Florida State lose to Miami that year? Did Florida State lose? They lost to NC State. Wouldn't have remembered that. So that's why I think if you're going to lose a third game, it's probably going to be somebody off the radar.
And there always could be some kind of injury thing or off-field thing.
Chuck, what are you doing?
Okay, on the two I went with, I think it's the only 2 games on the schedule that you're going to be an underdog by at least a touchdown. And that's going to be Bama and that's going to be Georgia. And, guys, if you can only beat one of these two, let it be Georgia, please.
So you can go to Atlanta?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, very
Get
good.
beat by Bama again?
That's all right.
Now, if you get them in a neutral site. All right, so the deciding factor. Welcome. This is the importance of having you back. You're now the swing vote.
He's like the Supreme Court justice.
We got 2 9-3s. We got 2 10-2s. God, I can't speak. I'll turn it over to you.
Well, I'm going to be unpopular. I'm going 9-3, and I agree with you on that third game could be anybody. I went old school Florida on the road. I went there. there's reasons why Tennessee hadn't won there since 2003
Right.
Yeah.
with better teams. That's a tough place to play.
But
It's the same reason for me that I always say, well, Kentucky. I usually just say
Yeah.
Kentucky be one of those. I always put Kentucky in the win column for Tennessee because just as Tennessee finds ways to lose to Florida, Kentucky finds ways to lose to Tennessee. You just have some of those.
Right.
And it would not shock me at all if they lost at Florida and something weird happened.
This is the old, I'll believe it when I see it.
And here's the thing about that. So even those of us who said 9, that means Josh Heupel would have won at least 20 games in the last 2 years. The last time Tennessee won 20 games in 2 seasons was right when we started this show, 2003, 2004.
wow.
It has been 20 years. So, all right. And it was the last time that Tennessee won at Alabama, won at
I
Florida.
think you can go 9-3, and it's not necessarily a step back.
No, I think if you're
Record-wise it is, but program-wise it won't
No,
be.
program-wise, I think if anything,
Yeah.
I think it solidifies that
Yeah.
you are back. All right. When we come back, we were going to talk to Will Overstreet today about the 1998 National Championship. Instead, we'll talk about it right here. A little bit about the 25th anniversary. Can you believe it's been 25 years? That's next on the Sports Wheel.